Guys, my name is Victor Kafo. I'm a professional public speaking coach, and today we are going to be reacting to Johnny Depp's lawyer's final closing statement and analyzing her public speaking skills to know what stands her out. So let's just get right into it.
Good morning. On May 27th, 2016, Ms. Heard walked into a courthouse to get a no-notice ex parte restraining order against Mr. Depp, and in doing so, ruined his life by falsely telling the world that she was a survivor of domestic abuse. Today, we ask you to give Mr. Depp his life back by telling the world that Mr.
I can already point out like three things that are going on here. So the first is this, all right? One of the ground rules of public speaking is, to a very large extent, the audience you are addressing determines the approach you take towards speaking, right? So this woman clearly recognizes the fact that she's not speaking to just another witness, neither is she addressing Ms. Heard. She's speaking directly to the jury, the people who have the decision-making ability. So the first thing she does is to take a laid-back stance, right? What that does is that it triggers the emotion of empathy. And it shows that you consider what you're speaking on a sensitive topic. So there's an emotional connection already, right? That's why she's folding her arms and all of that. That's eventually going to change when she starts making demands of the jury, right? Which we can see here. Let's just take it back one more time so you see what I'm talking about.
His life
Folded
by
arms.
falsely telling the world that she was a survivor of domestic abuse. Today, we ask you to give Mr. Depp his life back
And immediately
by
she
telling
places
the
her hand on
world
the desk,
that Mr. Depp
right? So she started off by telling the story of how 6 years ago, Miss Heard, laid an attack on Johnny Depp's personality and wanted to ruin his life. And then 6 years later, she's simply asking the jury, give this man his life back, right? And then once she starts asking, she places her hand. She takes a more authoritative stance, no longer the laid-back stance. Now, the second thing going on here is, if you notice, she didn't start with telling us her name. So many people are used to starting speeches with, good morning, my name is Victor Kafo, or good morning, my name is Miss Camille Vasquez. Look, when you start off straight up with your speech, right, and then you introduce your name later, like after 30 seconds of your introduction, which is what she does. I mean, this is an edited clip, all right, so we might not see where she actually says her name, but that's what she does. She introduces herself like 30 seconds well into the speech. What that does is that it sends an indirect message to your audience that you prioritize the job that you're here to do and the speech you're here to deliver more than yourself, right? So you're not interested in putting yourself out there as much as you're interested in the subject matter that you're there to speak on. So it's a very brilliant move by Ms. Vasquez. This introduction is perfect. Let's continue.
not the abuser, and hold Ms. Heard accountable for her life.
Before we go on, one more thing. If you notice, she actually lays the core of her argument within the first 20 seconds. All right? Her argument can be summarized by saying, see, 6 years ago, this woman launched an attack on my client's reputation. And 6 years later, I believe I have proven, that he deserves justice. Give him justice. That's her entire argument. And the first 20 seconds of her speech, she already makes that known.
At stake in this trial is a man's good name. Even more than that is a man's life. Ms. Heard walked into court and filed a false report of domestic abuse against her husband of 15 months, Johnny Depp. The scene was a setup. She tipped off the paparazzi so they would be waiting. They knew exactly where she would pause, which side of her face to photograph. And the photos captured what she wanted them to see, the image of a battered woman. What the paparazzi did not know is that the dark mark on her face mysteriously appeared 6 days after last seeing Mr. Depp. It was a lie. She knew it, Mr. Depp knew it, and the multiple witnesses you heard from who saw her that week also knew it. Headline of the op-
I don't even know why I'm reacting to this video. This woman is ridiculously good, right? So two things happened here now, all right? So if you notice, there were certain words that she stressed on, right? And the one she stressed on the most is 6 days, right? She's trying to emphasize the fact that the timing, of Miss Heard's claim isn't adding up. That's why she didn't just say, 6 days. The pictures mysteriously appeared 6 days after. She said 6 days after. She stressed it because that's the crux of that argument, right? And the second thing that's going on is this woman is applying something called the golden rule of three, right? It states that when you're giving an example or you're making a sentence that requires you to mention certain elements more than one, right, you limit it to three, because it makes you sound like an expert somehow, right? So what she does here is she knew it, Johnny Depp knew it, and the multiple witnesses knew it. 3.
Bed featured the term sexual violence, even though she had never before accused her ex-husband of such a heinous crime. Ms. Heard and her lawyers love to remind you of how the op-ed did not mention Mr. Depp by name. She inserted 2 years ago, there is an abuser in this courtroom, but it is not Mr. Depp. And there is a victim of domestic abuse in this courtroom, but it is not Ms. Heard. The evidence presented at this trial has shown that Ms. Heard is in fact the abuser, and Mr. Depp the abused. She never thought that Mr. Depp would tell you that he was the real victim of domestic abuse. She said it in her own words.
You can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and yes. I know it's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or time.
No. Yeah.
No, when you fucking have a close.
You didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this. But
Is
I
it
did
just
not
me or
punch
every
you.
time? Sorry.
I did not fucking deck
Every
you.
time this particular audio, is played, Johnny looks like he's reliving the moment, like he's actually going through pain. Just look at his face, man.
I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual
I feel so
hand
sorry for this
was,
man.
but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are you?
What am I supposed to do? Do this? I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby.
Because you started.
You're such a baby. Grow the fuck up,
Because you started
Johnny.
physical fights.
I did start a physical
Yeah,
fight.
you did. So I had
Because-
to get the fuck out of there.
Yes.
Quote, I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. I was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched. Imagine that was Mr. Depp saying that to Ms. Heard on that recording.
That fake laugh. That fake laugh is too much to take.
No, I'm sure she.
That fake laugh.
Did they just keep playing the audio? I mean, I could just
I'm sure she's great.
move it forward to when Camille Vasquez.
No.
Best performances in
No.
there. I don't really.
What else other things do you want to add?
Can't talk to
You
you when you
fucking
sound
lying
like
piece of
Bobby
shit.
Bear.
What? Oh, 15. Every man does.
Is Mr. Depp ever admitting hitting, punching, or kicking Ms.
Golden
Heard?
rule of three:
It doesn't exist.
hitting,
It didn't
punching, or
happen.
kicking.
You never
Kick.
heard Ms. Heard accuse Mr.
Works all the
Depp
time.
of sexual assault. Ms. Heard will not admit that she has ever done anything wrong. But she cannot deny what you heard on those recordings. It is Ms. Heard that repeatedly admits to violence. You heard from Mr. Depp, both in this courtroom and on audio recordings, that Ms. Heard punched him that evening, and the next morning he learned that someone had left feces on his bed. Ms. Heard denies responsibility, but she admitted to the prank to Starling Jenkins. And you heard from Mr. Depp that when his mother died, he resolved to leave.
What
Ms.
you
Heard.
writing?
And when Ms. Heard learned that Mr. Depp was done, that
I
she
can
was
bet you're not
really
writing anything
losing
there.
him, she went on the attack. She filed for divorce before Mr. Depp could. The evidence presented at this trial demonstrates that Ms. Heard didn't just want a divorce. She wanted to ruin
Oh my
him.
God!
Ms. Heard
Oh my
denied alerting
God!
TMZ.
Let's play that again.
Went on the attack. She filed for divorce before Mr. Depp could. The evidence presented at this trial demonstrates that Ms. Heard didn't just want a divorce. She wanted to ruin him.
This is an absolute masterclass in public speaking. Ms. Heard didn't just want to divorce him, she wanted to ruin him. Now, that statement, her final statement, which is she wanted to ruin him, would carry a lot of emphasis because of the statement that was made before it. It's a trick used in public speaking, right? So instead of, let's assume what I want to say is she wanted to make a joke out of Johnny Depp, right? That's what I want to say. Instead of just saying it that, hey, This woman wants to make a joke out of Johnny Depp, right? To place more emphasis on that statement, I'd make a statement before it. So I'll say something like, as a narcissist, right? Miss Heard didn't just want to lie against Johnny Depp. She wanted to make a joke out of him. Putting that statement before my main statement just places more emphasis on my main statement. This woman is up there. This woman has to be up there as one of the best public speakers I've heard this year, male or female. And I listen to a lot of public speakers, trust me. I mean, it's my job. I'm a public speaking coach. This woman is incredible.
Heard denied alerting TMZ to the TRO filing in this courtroom. But you heard testimony from Morgan Tremaine that TMZ knew to go to the courthouse, knew what side of her face the alleged bruise was on, and that Ms. Heard would pause for paparazzi, who got the photos that ended up splashed across newspapers and magazines. These pictures that she took and maintained on her devices ended up on the cover of People magazine 1 month later. In the end, she walked away with $7 million without any tax liabilities, which she said she was donating to 2 charities, the ACLU and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. The ACLU, they got less than $1 million, and the Children's Hospital, they got $250,000. But that didn't stop Ms. Heard from telling the world that she donated everything, because remember, she wanted nothing, and that didn't stop her from testifying under the penalty of perjury that she had donated it. But you've heard uncontested evidence that she had the money for 13 months prior to this lawsuit. It was Ms. Heard who fired the first shot after the divorce was finalized, when she sought to initiate an arbitration against
it's almost done.
Mr. Depp for defamation 3 months before the op-ed.
What is
was
this
even
woman
published,
writing?
And 6 months before Mr. Depp filed this lawsuit. Not only does this contradict Ms. Heard's
I'm just looking at the
excuse for not
lawyer,
making
like-
donations, it contradicts her narrative that she just wants to move on with her life, that she just wants Mr. Depp to leave her alone.
Oh man. No way. This feels too good to be true. It feels totally too good to be true. I totally enjoyed reacting to this video, and if you want me to react to more videos, I would totally welcome your suggestions. Thank you so much, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm going to be posting a lot more content, hopefully. See you soon.